Hi guys, Rich Pasini from rjpasini.com. Today's topic I want to talk about, the title is going to be Staying in the Game, eBay Reselling. I've been following some sellers, other sellers, and I find it kind of like a little, not disturbing, but a little off-key at times. I have to use my glasses actually. The only reason I take them off is because they're reflecting when I do the backgrounds. For example, you always hear sellers talking about making money on eBay, right? Then you hear the words retail arbitrage, BOLO, be on the lookout, flea market selling, consignment selling, analytical tools to be researched on specific items, comparing Amazon selling with eBay selling, talking about wholesaling and thrifting at thrift stores, judging watches on other items on eBay and Amazon, what's Amazon's best selling, thrift clothes selling, problem with the best offers, buy it now. Okay, that's another issue I have. That's another thing I want to share with you people too, with you guys. I noticed on a lot of my listings, if you look at my listings, and I'll drop a link there, and again, I'm not doing this as a segue to buy from me. You don't have to. I'm just sharing this information with you. A lot of my listings I changed to buy it now with best offers, and I have been noticing lately, I think I mentioned this in another one of my other videos, that buyers are buying, right? They're making best offers, and I accept them in most cases because I definitely want to clean out the inventory I have, and they're not making payment right away. Now I don't know. I think I have it with my selling, with my items listing, buy it now, and I'm always under the impression that once you buy it now, you got to make immediate payment. I could be wrong, but I've been selling buyers resending invoices to them sometimes 2-3 times, multiple times. I also been messaging them as well, so they don't respond. So my question to buyers out there, if you're going to make a best offer and you're using a buy it now, why does it take so long to, why does a seller have to make, repetitive, messaging or sending out, resending invoices? If you're not ready to buy, or if this is just to hold it there, so to speak, you want to hold that item there because you're afraid it's going to get sold, whatever, that's not fair to other buyers. As much as I want to make sales, that's not fair to them. And we got, this is, let's keep this a level playing field here. I want everybody should have an opportunity. Okay, when I do sneak peek videos, now you might say, well, that's a contradiction there. Well, here's the thing. With sneak peek videos, I am putting it out there for people to get first dibs on it. Okay, if you're going to get first dibs on it, and you're really interested in an item, I'm assuming that being you see the video, you're gonna make the purchase. You'll make it right away. I would hope you're gonna make it right away and not put you in the watch list. Although I've been having a lot of watches, I'm seeing the watch count go up, and I'm not seeing any buying. So that's a problem for me. It is, what buyers don't realize is that us sellers, well, at least particularly me, we all do, and we all have bills coming in every month, and if you're a full-time seller like I am, we depend on, making the sales, trying to make the sales quick as possible and use that money to pay our bills. And, when money starts becoming more scarce, which it is in this line of business, it becomes a problem. And I don't like resending invoices multiple times, but if I'm not getting a response, that poses a problem. Let alone if the buyer at the last minute changed their mind, saying I already had it happen, they would make a purchase, make a best offer, and have it twice with the same buyer. And I questioned that buyer, and they're very apologetic. But if you're not ready to buy and you're not ready to make a purchase, don't put me on. If you want to put on your watch list is one thing, but if you're going to make a best offer and not pay for it right away, then it's not really worth. It's not worth that part for me. That's not worth it for me. So that's one issue I have. The other issue I have is is when I go to other sellers, resellers on YouTube, and I hear them talking about all these different things they're doing. And folks, I was looking up on, I did a Google search just for curiosity, because I'm a very curious person by nature. And it could be old data, but I think I typed in how many resellers are on eBay, not Amazon, because I'm not really an Amazon seller. I may do sell occasionally, once in a blue moon, but I think they says 1.3 million resellers on eBay. Now that could have been old information. I didn't get the whole specs on it. I get all the, the definitive information on it, but that's if I understood right, 1.3 million, I believe. And out of that, I don't know. I guess they could break down the top-rated sellers too. I don't know if that's a part of it. I guess that's all included in there, but I don't know if they, categorize that by top-rated sellers or just versus regular sellers. But it's nice to share information, and I share what I know, what I can do. I do other things besides doing sneak peek and demo videos and intro videos. I tell you basically where I source from. The same place, the same sourcing that others will tell you, other resellers will tell you. It's the same thing I tell you. Yard sales, garage sales, and thrift stores. And you always see that there are retail arbitrage. And for those who are new or not familiar with it, retail arbitrage is going to a store like a TJ Maxx or Marshall's and picking up something that's on sale and you resell it for more money. But you see, here's the problem. And if a lot of people eventually do bump out of eBay selling and just do it casual, or do it as a part-time thing, or just as a hobby, or just to make an extra few bucks here and there, I can understand it. Now, there's nothing wrong with sharing information, because a lot of people probably say, well, how do you get in there? How do you get into this business? It sounds interesting. I want to do it. And you're out there trying to, you're trying to make a living, but at the same time, you're sharing your knowledge. Now, I don't want people to think, oh, well, if this guy's got knowledge, he's holding back. No, I'm not. That's why I tell you. There's nothing too hard, because if you didn't get the information from me, you're going to get it from somebody else. Okay? And I'm not saying I'm not going to share information with you. I mean, I share what I know. But, if you follow these sellers, go on YouTube one day and just go in there and type in how to make money on eBay. You will get tons and tons of sellers out there. I sell this much money on this. I made this much money for this. I sold much of this. This is a good item to buy. This you might want to stay away from. This is the market is saturated with this, so on and so forth. You hear so much of it. And you might say, well, you're a reseller and you're talking about information like this. Now, I'm bringing this video and focus, in light to let other people know that the other information you're getting from other sellers is the same thing. I mean, people may say, well, if you don't want to hear the information, why follow them? I don't. There's certain people I don't follow because it's the same thing. It's over and over again. It's the same repetitive thing. This is what I sold on eBay. This is what I sold on Etsy. This is what I sold on Amazon, so on and so forth. There's another one, Macari. There's another one. Then you got the Bonanza. Bonanza's been stale as anything. It's as dead as a doornail. I haven't had a sale on Bonanza in a long, long time, folks. Nice platform, nice selling platform, but to be honest with you, I have not really done anything with it. But the reason why, another reason why I'm making this video is they always tell you, a lot of these resellers, I mean, I listen to them. I like the amount, I'm not knocking these guys, these people that do that. I'm not, believe me. I appreciate it because you can pick up some good pointers, but after a while, you get inundated with the same information over and over and over again. And a lot of them tell you the same thing about sourcing. I go to Goodwill, Salvation Army, the thrift stores, retail arbitrage. Then there's eBay arbitrage, where people will buy something off eBay cheaper because they know the product. They're very, fluent within it. They know that product well, and they feel they can get it for a cheaper price off of eBay and can flip it. I heard stories like that. And that's good. I mean, if you could do so, that's good. But I'm just trying to say, with all this information going around the cyber world, people will sit there and say, my sales are slow. I can't make money off it. I may have to go back to a 9-to-5 job, and so on and so forth. And the reason why is because you have a nucleus of all this information out there. And I'm not saying, people may say, well, it sounds like you're trying to say for people to stop rambling on about where they're sourcing stuff. No, I'm just trying to say, with all of that information going out there, as far as like where to sell, what to buy, this, and the other thing, as sellers, we shouldn't sit here and say, my sales are slow, I am not making no money. It should be no wonder or no surprise to anybody, because you got all these resellers out there. Now, I'm not saying they're doing it to get notoriety on YouTube, to build up their channel. Listen, I've been on this not for, when I started this back in 2014, 15, but it was like, it wasn't even something I'd even really got involved with. And you know, now it's creeping up there. And yeah, well, look, we all like to get views, you know, we like to get a lot of subscribers and stuff like that, and that's nice. I think a lot of people hear about these YouTube superstars that making all this money. I don't see me getting to that point, but I do tell it like it is, and I'm not going to pull punches and sugarcoat anything. But you know, I hear sellers saying that they're into a lot of different things. Okay, I'm into this, that, and the other thing. Now, I don't know if you guys follow Shark Tank, and I do. I pretty much watch it religiously when it comes on Fridays, East Coast time here. I think it's 8 o'clock on the East Coast. I'm in New York. And when they get a person, an entrepreneur, come in there, or as Mark Cuban would say, a wantrepreneur, comes in there and starts giving their sales pitch to them, because they want to get those shark people, you know, the sharks to invest in their business. Everything sounds good, you know, the sales are good, good profit margins, and then they divert their attentions to something other than what that business structure is all about. So that's when you know, hear them talk about like one of the guys, I want to get into the licensing deal, or I want to get into retail, and then you'll hear them, you know, the entrepreneur is sitting there telling all these different things what they want to do. They want to go this direction, that direction, this direction, and that turns them off. And I've heard it many times by each and every one of them at different segments of the shows. You're going in too many areas. You're going all over the place. I'm out. You'll hear this one say, I'm out. I'm out. I'm not involved. I don't want to get involved in your business. It's not for me. You're going in too many different directions. Folks, if you're going to stay in this type of business, try to stay focused. You know, and I find this myself happening. I get a lot of auction alerts, eBay alerts. You know, as a matter of fact, that's why I would like to do the reselling news too coming up. I would like to. I keep saying it, but I get so boggled down with stuff. I just throws everything out of whack. There's too many distractions. I get all these little prompts coming up. I don't know if you see some of my videos, you'll see me, you know, clicking out of them because they come up and I get all these warrant watch alerts and all this different stuff, and it's annoying. Some of them for, you know, breaking news. You know, I'm over there trying to do a listing, and you know, you got a breaking news pop up, you know, and then you get sidetracked. They say, oh, let me go see what that's all. It's breaking news. You click it on. We get so caught up in our own little worlds and what's going on in the outside world that we can't stay focused, and that's a problem. And that's even for me. I find I deviate sometimes from what I'm doing. If you're gonna stay in this business, and this goes for me too. Okay, I'm not singling myself out. We have to stay focused, and you got to try to stay. You got to try to stay in the game as best you can, especially with eBay reselling. It's not an easy thing. Okay, there are times I just feel like throwing the towel in. Really, because if you're not making sales, especially the thing that really bothers me, folks, is that when, like I said again, when I get buyers, they make offers, I accept them. Because why do I accept them? Because I had the items around probably for 6 months to a year. I want to get rid of them. Finally, it's like, oh, I want to get rid of it, so I take it. I take the offer, and you send the invoice, and you're hoping to get paid, you know. But it doesn't work that way. I've been sending, sometimes when I've been doing this with certain buyers, I'm sending multiple invoice. I'm resending the same invoice 3 times. I message them a couple times. You know, I don't know why a person would want to bid on something or make a best offer and then not commence with the rest of the sale, the processing. It is what it is. But when you hear sellers, including myself, but when you hear certain sellers, I mean, I don't go into great detail like those guys do. You know, some people do. I don't mention names either. But they'll sit there and tell you what I sold, what didn't sell, and so on and so forth, what I bought it for, what I sold it for. I don't get into those details. I personally felt, and I said this once before, I personally feel that that's really should be no one's concern, what I bought it for, what I'm selling it for. And I'll tell you why I feel that. I was following a seller, a reseller, and this reseller would go out on YouTube, on their channel, and talk about what they buy items, where they get their sourcing from, and how much they pay for it. And that same seller would tell you the comments they received. How dare you buy an item for $2 and you send it, or $5 and you're selling it for $25 or $30. That's terrible. You should be ashamed of yourself. What can I say? I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't say it, because I know I'll be getting opposition myself. And that's only one reseller. God knows how many other ones that keep talking about the same thing. Oh, I went to the Goodwill, I picked this up for $2, $3, $4, I sold it for X amount of money. You know, the reseller's happy, but the people that land on that person's YouTube channel hear this, they get irate, they get furiated. You know, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Did you realize that? Telling their husbands or wives, yeah, I'm listening to this reseller over here. He bought an item at the Goodwill. He paid $5 for it, and he sold it for $35. Really? You know, then the next thing you know, you might get another person like that getting all bent out of shape. I don't believe in that. That's one of the reasons why I don't talk about it. You'll hear me saying, oh, I bought this, you know, I picked this up today. It's going to be a sneak peek. I'll tell you about the condition. I got videos. I embed videos on my listings, and I talk about it. I show a demo and stuff like that. But you know, I don't sit to say, oh, by the way, I bought this Sony cassette player for $5. I'm selling for $25. You're not going to hear me say things like that, folks. I'm not gonna draw up this grand illusion that everything is all, you know, we live in a world with rose-tinted glasses, so to speak. It's not like that. I don't do it. I don't go that way. I don't run this business that way. If you're a person that has bought from me, if you're a repeat customer from me, you know, that purchased from me, or maybe you're not a follower on YouTube, but maybe you're a repeat customer on eBay, you'll know that I do take pride in my work, in the way I prep my stuff. You know, but I'm not here to talk about myself as far as that part goes. I'm just trying to say I do things a little different than the average buyer. I've seen resellers out there that do things or say things that just blows my mind. You know, but when you get a reseller that says, I'm into all these different things, be careful. And I'm not saying in a bad way to that buyer, you know, to that seller, but be careful. And like that old saying goes, those who fail to plan to fail. It's a very competitive field. And I was just listening to eBay Radio. If I could find that segment, I was going to put it in here, where they said somebody came on as a host, a guest, and I don't know if they said they got, I don't know, so many millions, I think I said in my other video, so many millions of new buyers. You know, I don't know how I guess they must have analytical tools that decipher just people who buy. And I don't know, I could just say it because I could say I can come in as a buyer, but then I could turn it to a seller. You know what I'm saying? I could also sell as well. But, okay, so even if you have millions of more buyers, how about all the millions of items that are out on eBay? I'm going to give you an example. You know, one of the most important tools is our cell phone. Okay, and you know, I'll be honest with you, even as a reseller, it makes me sick too, because when I do go to the thrift stores, especially when they have 50% off, you see sellers in it. I know they're sellers, the eBay sellers, eBay, Amazon, because I bumped into them, I talked to them. And they got their phones out and they're holding, you know, they're doing one of these things here. It's like, let's say if it's a book, you know, they got a book and they're looking at it and they're like this here and they're checking out. Oh, let's see what the, you know, it's sickening. I mean, and the reason I'm saying is because I say, well, you do the same thing. Yeah, I know, I do. But the whole idea of going to thrift stores back in the day was to get an item for a good price. Now, and it's to my understanding that the thrift stores now are taking their merchandise that they get for free from donations, and I know it because I see the trucks and pulling up in the back of the thrift stores, making deposits, and the items are free. I mean, they're getting them for free. The thrift stores are. And I was with my brother one day. We were talking, and we seen a coat, like a fox coat or rabbit coat, whatever it was. Now, mind you, it got it for free, and the thing I think was selling for $100 or $200. And it wasn't the greatest thing. And my brother pointed, he goes, it had a hole in it. It looked like I had it looks like a piece of the, it was either rabbit fur or whatever. It looked like I had a rip in there, and they had it on a hanger and they're selling it. Those days of going to thrift stores, no, maybe 10, 15 years ago, this was good. But now, that's another thing too that cracks me up. Oh man, I don't do it, but I get a kick when you see people, I'm going to go to the thrift store today, and this is what we're going to see. Let's see. I wouldn't do that because I don't know if I get kicked out of my thrift store. I don't know if the manager would like it. I was talking to another reseller. He goes, why would you get kicked out? You're promoting their business. I don't see people walking around the thrift stores I go to. Since I've been doing this business, I have never seen a seller walking around with their cell phone. If they do it, they're doing it very discreet. But I've been walking up and down the aisles. I have not seen one person with their cell phone videotaping. Now, people say, well, you might have won on an off day where there are people there are sellers there. Maybe they are. I never seen them. Every time I go, I never see people with the cell phone videotaping with their cell phone. But there are people that do it. They go to Goodwill. Oh, let's see what we got here. And they're going through things. They're rummaging through stuff. And we're going to go to Salvation and see what they got. I don't do that stuff. And it's not because I don't want to share with you guys. I feel stupid, doing that. Going to a thrift store and videotaping it. Oh, look, let's see what they got here. Oh, they got a book here, or they got a vase over here. Geez, I don't know. Do I want this here? I don't know. What do you think this would sell on eBay? I don't do that stuff. And I'm not knocking the guys that do it, the people that do it. I just don't do it. That's not for me. I don't roll that way. Then you hear sellers saying, well, I'm thinking of getting rid of the inventory I have and going brand new. That's good. Brand new is good. I would like to do that too. I'd like to get rid of the older stuff I have and go brand new too. But again, sourcing for certain things requires. So I'm sure you have to. I would think you have to have a decent amount of capital to if you're going to buy from sellers overseas, because their minimums could be high. Some of them could be low. There's ways to go about doing this business where you can make money. I don't know about people saying, I'm talking about all this making $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month. If there are, God bless you. I mean, you're doing great. Maybe people say, well, maybe because you're a person that's, you got a stunted way of thinking. You only feel you're going to get so far, and that's it. Hey, if I can build this business up to $100,000 a month, or $15,000 or $10,000 a month, believe me, that's a good achievement for me. Very, very good achievement. But the reality is that may not happen. It may or it may never happen. And I think that's what I'm saying. A lot of people that get involved with this business have this grand illusion that you're going to go into this business and start it, and you're going to make tons of money. Like I said once before, don't quit your day job. And for those who are new coming onto this channel, I got involved in this because my job got let go. They outsourced my job. 1,000 of us lost our job. They got outsourced overseas. That's how I got into it. I figured, you know what? I went through 2 layoffs and 1 company bankruptcy. I said, strike 3, you're out. I'm going to try doing this on my own this time and see if I could take it to the next level. It's a struggle, but the sales come in drifts and drafts. But the thing that really cracks me up is when I hear people saying, "Oh, sales are slow." Now, here's the same sellers. Here's the thing I like about this. I follow a couple of sellers, but this one particular seller will say, "Yeah, sales are slow. I may have to go back to a store. I may have to go back to a job. This, that, and the other thing." And those are the same sellers. And I'm just hear me out. And I know you're probably thinking, "I know where this guy's going with this." No, but hear me out though. Here's a seller going out, broadcasting to the whole world where you're sourcing, the items you're buying, and how much you're selling them for. And you're giving all the good tips, and it's nice, and that's good. I kudos to you because you're helping other people get into the business, and that's fine. But what makes me laugh is maybe a couple days after that, you go back to that seller when they do an updated video, and you say, sales have been bad, flat. Sales are flat. I'm not making no money. What can I tell you? There's you and 1,000 other probably resellers out there doing the same thing. And there's nothing wrong with sharing information. But at the same time, when I hear people complaining about their sales, I complain about it. And I know why it is where it is. Okay? And again, I'm all for people sharing information, and people want to get out of their day jobs and they want to do this full time because they feel I would love to do this here. This is for me. This is the ideal job, business I'd love to do, and it is. I love doing it too. But at the same time, when I hear sellers saying stuff like that, sales have been flat, no sales this week, only sold one item, this and that. Those are the same sellers that are broadcasting to the world where they're sourcing from. So what I'm saying to them, or not to them, but in general, people should not get, upset about their sales when you're throwing it out there. And there's nothing wrong with throwing it out there. But don't sit there and say, oh, my sales are bad, they're flat, and this, that, and the other thing. There's nothing wrong with sharing information. I shared a little information I have. I don't have much. I mean, what I'm telling you is what I do. I don't have any more information to tell you. I hear, like I said, I didn't know. I'm not saying I was oblivious to half of these things, but retail arbitrage, BOLO, be on the lookout. These are things I wasn't familiar with until I started getting into this and started listening to other sellers. And there's other acronyms with this reselling stuff. But at the same time, people sit there and we complain. Oh, my sales are no good, or I'm not making no money. I mean, my sales, I can't. There's nothing to write home about, to be honest with you. And the funny thing is, eBay is trying to, I don't know if it was the last week or the week before, because they go on Tuesdays and Thursdays, folks, just in case you're wondering. They're sitting there trying to promote people, for sellers to put use video in their ads. And I'm telling you firsthand, I do videos, and I get very few sales from them. And I had to question a couple of sellers that I used videos and asked them if it helped, and a couple of them did get back to me. And I say a couple. Yes, it was based on your video. That's why I purchased the item. I found it very informative. It helped. Very few. But I think eBay has this illusion that people start we want sellers to use embed videos in their descriptions. I think it helps. I'm telling you firsthand. I do a lot of videos. Look at my YouTube channel. Look at the sneak peeks. All right, that's a sneak peeks, but the ones I do demos with and intro videos, I have a lot of stuff sitting there still, and they have videos on them. Some videos are just taken off because I said to myself, it's not even worth it. No one's looking at it. And I go through a lot of trouble making those videos because you got to go through steps. I go through steps. I use a thing called the YouTube converter. After I upload it, after I create the video, I use software to create it. Like I'm doing now. This is what I'm using right now is Filmora. It's a screen recorder, and I use this. And then after it gets uploaded to YouTube, then I have to go in there and click on the share, get the embedded code, then I copy that embedded code into YouTube Converter. YouTube Converter makes an eBay code for it. I copy and paste the eBay code into my template, my eBay selling template. I usually do that with the HTML format. I'm not an HTML program, but I use a program called Front Page 2002 to do my templates for eBay listings. That's where you see, if you look at that, that's where it comes from. And I convert that into, the reason why I go into HTML, I'm Front Page 2002, you have the standard and you have the HTML format. I use the HTML format because when I'm copying the YouTube HTML, I copy it and paste it. I put it in my format, on my program, and then I copy it and then I put it in eBay's HTML format, and that's how I embed the videos. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of little steps. If I was doing thousands of them, I don't know if I'd be doing a lot of videos. That's a lot of work, folks. It really is. It's a lot. It takes a lot of time, even creating these videos. But I just, the reason I'm sharing this is because it just bothers me when I hear people, and then they talk about comparison. Look, when it comes to watches And I got suckered into this, folks, and I don't want to see you guys go through the same thing. But, you know, I wish, you know what, for those who want to start it, go on to, you know, go get into this business, eBay, reselling, whatever, Amazon, eBay, whatever. I wish you all the best, and that's coming from my heart, because I would hope people wish me the best as well. But sometimes you can't go by what's on eBay. I had this example I've seen. As a matter of fact, I'll screen share it. I'm just going to show you something I bought. Just minimize this here for a second. I was in the thrift store and I came across these here, right here. Okay, I'm gonna click it on. And when I looked at it, it was selling for a little more money than this. Some were selling a little, you know, maybe a little cheaper, not that much. But when I seen it, I was looking on my phone, you know, I have my cell phone with me, and I'm looking, I'm scrolling, saying, oh, I didn't know what to call, so I call a vintage Bakelite telephone phone handset. A tester, because that's what it looked like, test primes. And I'm looking at my phone, I'm saying, oh wow, I'm scrolling up, I said, that's with software, that's with software, that has watches, this don't have watches, whatever. And I took a chance with it. I said, you know what, I'll see what happens with it. Okay? Again, I don't disclose what I paid for it, but I figured, let me take it's a minimal investment. Let me see what I could do, you know, what I can get for it. This phone's been sitting for quite some time. The handset phone has been sitting for quite some time. Another item. I'm gonna go back. This way, you can't always go by what watches or what other people say. Oh yeah, this has got so many watches on it. This is what it's selling for. And that's the other thing too, folks. Don't go by what's selling on eBay, because I've seen so many different prices. It's pathetic. It really is. Like, where's that other thing? I picked this radio up. I had this thing like close to a year. Usually tells you, oh yeah, here you go, here it goes, right here. So look at the start time. Look at the start time. Look at that, folks, right there. If you ever want to see the start time, how old these things I have on here, look at the start time. December 30th, 2016. That's how old this is. It's new. It's all encased. A whole year, folks. A whole year. 393 page views. Duration's good to canceled. You know why? List it over again, I list it all. Don't go by that, folks. I'm telling you, be careful, because you're going to get sucked into it. You know, you're sitting there. I was in a thrift store. I got that from a thrift store. Paid a decent price for it. And I'm doing one of these things. Oh, let me go see what that's all about. I'm looking up there. I'm looking. Oh, that's what it's selling for. Oh, okay, maybe I'll get this. Whole year. And I got best offers. Can I tell you something, honestly? If my memory serves me right, I think it would tell you, I don't even think I got one offer for that. I don't think I got one offer for that, folks. So, you know, when people sit there telling these resellers, oh, you got to get this here, this is selling, that's selling, this, you got to do your research. Listen, folks, you can do your research. You do it on your own. You don't need a reseller like me or anybody else that you could do your own. I know there's a lot of people out there, very, you know, intelligent, smart people. They have it. With these cell phones, you got a handheld computer right in your hand. You could do your own research. And the only thing I'm saying is, don't get sucked into thinking, oh well, this is selling on eBay for this amount of money. This is how much I'm going to get. Or this is how much is selling on Amazon. That's how much I'm going to get. I know people go through, they use analytical tools, search SEO tools, keyword search tools. Then they use these watch count things to see what's the best selling products. Listen, there's a lot of people out there with the same items. So people may say, well, okay, well, what do we do then? We want to sell. We want to get into reselling. I'm not saying not to. I'm just saying proceed with caution. When you're in a thrift store, or a Salvation Army or Goodwill, you know, you're going to have your cell phone with you, and you're going to do the thing just like all the other thousands of resellers do. And you're going to go on eBay while you're in the store, and you're going to look at the item, look it up, and you're going to see quite a bit of items like that, quite a bit of people selling them. And you're also going to probably see maybe watches, but you can't go by that. Okay? You know, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but you can't always go by that. I've tried that already. You seen that thing, that radio, from December 30th, 2016. What can I tell you? That's when I put it up. I thought the same thing. When I was looking at my cell phone, I said, oh, this looks like it'll sell. Still sitting there. You know, if you follow that type of mindset, you know, where you hear, you know, that's the problem. I mean, when you listen to other resellers talk about how they start their business or what they're selling, how they got into it, it's nice to listen. And, you know, I'm not a person that's going to make a derogative remarks to people. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, you guys, I'm not going to go on another reseller site and say, you don't know what you're talking about, and that information you're talking about is all hogwash. I'm not going to say stuff like that. That's disrespect to resellers. I wouldn't want nobody doing it to me. And I'm not here to bash other resellers. I'm just trying to say what upsets me is when I hear people talk about the same thing. You know, people go out there and they're blasting off, you know, talking about all these different things they're sourcing for, where they're sourcing it, and how much they're paying for it, and how much they're selling for. And then later on, a week later, when they make another video, I ain't making no sales. I only sold 1 item this week, 2 items. I didn't sell anything. It's flat. Well, what's the reason? You know, there's a lot of reasons why things could be like that. But then again, I had some comments on my stuff because I did a thing one time. I said some of my stuff ain't selling, and other people would comment, well, you might have your items priced too high. Shipping costs may be expensive. I can't offer free shipping. I'm getting these things for a decent price, but not that cheap where I could offer free shipping, or else I won't be making anything on these. So my thing is, for people breaking into this, so staying in this game, do your own research. If you want to listen to other sellers to get some little tips and points and pointers from them, that's fine. But, you know, don't go into this with great expectations and saying, well, I'm going to make it. Maybe you ain't going to do it. Maybe you're not going to get to a certain level in life, but I am. I wish you all the best. I've been trying. I'm jumping through hoops to make sales. And people said, what do you mean jumping? I do price reductions. I put in my tagline, best offer is welcome, to try to catch their attention. I put other messages in my description to message to buyers, talking about making, you know, please, you know, don't hesitate, make a bet. I'm jumping through hoops here. I'm putting videos, I'm embedding videos in some, not all those listings, but I'm embedding videos in certain things. Nothing's selling. It's not moving the way I thought it would be. And why? Because there's, what did that person say? 1.3 million resellers, and this might be old data, so probably maybe it's more now. You look up an item. See this iPhone here? It's an iPhone 5S. If I was to put this up on eBay, to look that up, to get an idea, let's say I picked that up to sell with the intentions of selling it. Do you know how many probably those are on eBay? I didn't check it out, but I bet you there's thousands of them. How can you compete when you get thousands of people? And some of them may be fairly new. There may be a couple that may be new. You might say, yeah, well, that 5S came out back in 2015 or 14, so how bright? You never know. You never know. A person may have bought it, put it on the side with their intentions to later on sell it. Maybe they wanted to have that brand new item, whatever, you know, put aside. You know, maybe they're gonna keep it. I don't know, put on their mantle to save it. Oh, I got a brand new one. Who knows? It's like people buying those expensive sneakers. But the thing I'm trying to say is, you know, there's thousands of those things in there, and you know, what are your chances to, you know, selling your item when you're amongst thousands? You know, it's like sheep's amongst wolves, right? Like that saying goes in the Bible. Is a Bible thing. I think you're sending out sheep's among wolves. The competition is so great. It's great out there. Very high competition. So, but the thing is, again, you know, when you hear all these things, folks, if you follow the same sellers, let's say, I mean, I'm not saying myself, but if you follow other resellers that do YouTube, and you hear them talking about the same thing, it's usually 9 out of 10 And here's a message I was talking about here. I gotta get rid of this. Yeah, I always get these messages. 9 out of 10, it's the same monologue over and over again. The same opening monologue. Hi, it's so-and-so, blah, blah, just like with me. I'm guilty of that. And it's the same thing. Well, I went thrifting this week. I got this and I got that at the thrift store. Oh, I went to Goodwill and I got this. I picked this up. I'm going to sell it. This should bring me a $20 or $30 bill. This should bring me a $50 bill. Does it really bring you that money? How many times? I put things on there. I tried all that. I had a pretty much fixed price set in my mind. And even with the best offers, I wasn't getting that. There's no really secret sauce for this here. There's no formula for this here. It's either hit or miss, just like when you go to thrift stores. There were days I went to thrift stores when it was 50% off, and I walked out with zilch, nothing, nada. I didn't walk out with anything. Because, I probably checked it out when I was on my cell phone. It was probably hundreds or thousands of those items, and I said, I'm not buying that. I don't care what the price is, because I'm going to get lost in the mix. Now, people may say, well, it depends. You do your keyword definition. Maybe you could do change your keywords around, put it in a different category. I tried a lot of things, folks, and that's why I'm sitting on a lot of stuff. Stuff is not going as quick as I would like it to be. Good way to go. If it keeps keeping up like this, I have to have a different alternative route to making more money. And if it's not going to work for me, the inevitable may happen. I don't want to think that way, but I mean, between you and I would like to do this, stay doing this full time. I really like it, enjoy it, and love it, whatever. But if it's not going to substantiate my income, where I'm not bringing enough money to pay my bills, then I got to go back to, sorry to say this, the 9-to-5 job. And that's another thing that really cracks me when I listen to eBay radio and I hear these people talking. I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to do eBay full time. Boy, I hope you got a lot of money put aside, or you're well versed in your selling processing, where you're going to make money hand over fist. Because let me tell you something, it is rough waters out there. And when your bills keep coming in on time, and that eBay money is not coming in, you're going to be sweating every month. Believe me, I'm getting to that point. Do I want to quit and throw the towel in? No, I don't. But at the same time, if you got bills coming in into play, which all of us do, you're going to be sweating. And when you start not making that money coming in, and especially using eBay as a sole income, you're going to think twice about this. You're going to rethink your strategy. Some people, I don't know what the statistics are. I wonder how many people actually dropped out of selling full-time and said, I'm out of here, I'm going back to work full-time. I got paid benefits, paid holidays, this, pension plan, 401k, and give this stuff up. And that's why, I listen to eBay radio, and sometimes I would come out with some pointers. I would message the host, email, and I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not going to get involved. I don't call them. I am not going to send any more emails to these people. First, they don't use it on the radio anyway. I thought it'd be something. I throw out these little things here that I thought maybe they could share it on eBay radio. So those days are over. I am not doing that anymore. I'm not going to get involved with eBay as far as that part. I used to send emails to one of the hosts there. I figured, maybe you could use this information to talk about it on your show, and it's like, that's it, one ear out the other. So I wash my hands with that. So eBay radio, as far as me making any comments or sending information that may be valuable, I tried it. I sent multiple emails with certain topics, different topics, and wasn't negative, it was all positive stuff, and it wasn't going anywhere. So going forward, I am not going to be sending contacting these people anymore on eBay, about eBay for eBay radio. They're not using the information I'm sending. Maybe they feel it's not viable to put out there. That's fine, but that's fine too, because that works for me, because now I don't have to worry about I'm not going to sit there dealing. See, I want to share information with people, and I figure the people that do listen to eBay radios on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it may be of help to them, but being it's not helpful to them, I am no longer going to be messaging them or sending any articles of interest or whatever that may be that pertain to eBay. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm done with that. If other people want to do that, go to the chat room, and you could do that there in the chat room. I'm done with that. But in closing with this information here, I just want you guys to know one thing. Looking stuff up, be it Amazon or whatever, and they go, I know Amazon has the rankings, they go by rankings, like how it ranks in there. And this one seller was talking about a certain item that was selling, and they're saying, oh, it's got a good ranking, it's selling for this much money on Amazon. Then later on, the person will sit there and say, well, let's go see what it's selling for on eBay. And scrolling, the price, what they're selling it on Amazon for is a lot lower on eBay. So that's what I'm trying to say. If we get this grand illusion, let's say you're picking up let's say I pick this cell phone up here, this iPhone 5S, I pick it up and I say, I can get this here for, I don't throw numbers, I'm just using this as an example, I don't want you to contradict myself. Let's say I pick this up, I say, I'm going to buy this here in the thrift store for $40 or $50. And I get that phone and I'm using my other cell phone. I'm looking to say, oh, on eBay it's selling for this much money. I might have scrolled down, maybe, let's say I did it really quick, I might have scrolled down maybe 5 or 10 people. I didn't want to look, let's say, because if it had, let's say it had 500, you're not going to sit there scroll in a thrift store looking, scrolling up. I get that. I say, well, I got it for 50. I like to double it. Maybe I can get 100 for it. So I put it on eBay. I'm going to ask for 100 for it. Or I do my research. So, well, on eBay it's selling for this much money. Maybe I can, if someone's selling one for 125, maybe I'll undercut them by $25. I'll sell it for 50. 100. It sits. So I said, you know what? Let me try something with a best offer. I have a Sony phone right now on there for $99 with best offer. I'm the original owner of that cell phone. There's no scratch on it, very good condition. It's got the original packaging, the box and everything. I got offers, ridiculous offers. And some people will message me, but nobody's spending. So don't be disillusioned when you go in a store or thrift store and you say, well, this is what it's selling for on eBay. So if I pick it, you may be stuck with that there. I'm stuck with a lot of things, and I am trying to get rid of the inventory I have. I don't know if I'm going to be selling any more of those Rock Band guitars, and I don't know if I'm going to be selling any more printers. I think to be honest with you, once the printers are gone, I think I'm going to stay away from printers unless they're brand spanking new. I can get them from, like, if the thrift store happens to have one brand new in a box, that's probably the only one I'm going to buy it. I'm not buying, and not because of anything. The printers I sell, they work. Okay, you will see 2 printers there that are up there for parts not working. They did work, and the reason why they're up for parts not working is because when the buyer sent it back because they decide for some reason, I don't want the printer, which is okay, I take returns. They didn't package it well, and upon receiving it, it got damaged. So that's why they're up there for parts not working. I do not buy printers for parts not working. That's not the way I roll. I don't want to buy a printer and put it up there, buy a printer for not working. Who wants to? People buy them. I'm sure they buy parts of them, but I don't want to buy a printer like that. I don't want that. Who wants that? I don't want to sell stuff like that. I try, for the most part, getting new stuff. Not always easy, but I do. And again, I source it at the thrift stores. That's where I get a lot of my 99.9% of my merchandise is from thrift stores. Outside of the clothing my daughters give me, like my younger daughter gave me, I put some Juicy Couture up there, jackets. But the clothing you see is my daughter's, my younger daughter. She's grown out of the clothing. It's still got good wearable. It's still in good wearable condition. So that's why you see that there. I didn't buy those clothes. I don't know if I will sell clothes. I mean, that's some of my daughter's stuff. I don't know, like, if once all that stuff is gone, I don't know if I'm going to go into a thrift store and buy a men's suit. I don't know. I really can't say right now. I don't think that far in advance. But when you're following resellers that say, I got my hands and feet and everything, I'm dabbling to this and dabbling to that. Remember one thing. I always look back to reflect on certain things, shows, and I always think about Shark Tank. You get these entrepreneurs that got great products, great inventions, and they open their mouth up, they start talking this, that, and the other thing. And as soon as they start talking about going off in different directions, they drop one by one. Now I'm out. You're all over the place. You're doing too many things. Stay focused on one thing, folks. Stay focused on one thing. And I just want to share this with you guys. If you want to learn a business or you want to get into something that's good, get into something like this. Yeah, see these two books? This is an older one, Collectibles Price Guide 2007. And this one here is Antiques. I think I did this in one of my other videos. Check into one of these things. Get one of these books. I recommend them, and I'll tell you why. All right, you might say, yeah, but that's old news. But the thing is, it gives you an idea of what's selling. 9 out of 10, I don't think you're going to find too many of these items that's listed in this book, which is probably, let me get my glasses here. I'll share this really quick with you guys. This book was given to me, my sister gave it to me. She knows in this. And this book has, this little one, has 573 pages. 9 out of 10, you may and you may not find items in here in the thrift store. You may not. You may and you may not. You may be lucky. Okay? You may be lucky. But chances are you probably won't see a lot of that stuff in it. You may, but you have to be very lucky. I don't think you're going to find a lot of this stuff in here. Okay? This is collectibles. And it tells you a price. I guess what it could sell for. They have one over here. It looks like I don't know, what is it, a little donkey? Yeah, chocolate mold, whatever. I guess it says over here, a large German Artron Red Riche donkey chocolate mold. According to this, I don't know if it's sold, if that's a sell price, or what it's worth. It says over here, it's the one right here. See the price? Now, I don't know if that's the selling price. I'm sorry, folks. Chocolate mold. I don't know if that's the selling price, or it's sold, or that's what it's worth. Now, remember, this book is from 2007. Now, I will say this, again, not in a sense, not to contradict. I did see stuff like this here, but they're the newer stuff. The new stuff may not have money. People do collect Pez dispensers. But like, you know, like some of the stuff I see here, I don't always see these type of things in the thrift stores. Now, if you guys do, let me know. I've looked. I mean, I glanced through this book. I mean, people might say, you don't have a photographic memory to remember everything in this book. No, I don't. But there's specific things I look for in this book. Okay, there's specific things I look for in the book. I don't go through this book. I stay away from the pottery. And the reason why I stay away from it, because I'm afraid if it's not packed right, I know I pack it right. I'm afraid of how it gets delivered, how the courier gets it to the buyer. That's why I don't like to deal with it. So with certain things, I skip through a lot of this stuff. Okay, pottery, I'm not going to get involved with glassware, pottery. I mean, I do have plates which I want to get rid of, but not like stuff like this, bulky stuff. I got to pack up and wrap it around and double box and stuff. I'm talking about stuff like that. Plates are one thing. I've sold stuff like that already. But there are a lot of things in this here. Figurines, you know, these type of figurines. Like I said, I've been going to that thrift store a lot, not every single day, and I don't see a lot of these things like this here. Okay, what's in this book, I don't really see too much of that. People may say, well, I beg to differ. Oh, I've seen stuff like this in these books. Maybe you have. Maybe you have. Maybe you have seen stuff like this. But I go with specifics. I like electronic items. You know, here's like they have a section about chess, all about chess playing. Like the chess pieces, lead figurines. Here's a lead figurine from a rare 1930s Crescent deep sea diver. But the price ranges vary. See? The price ranges vary. It says over here, in case you can't see it, from 80 to 120 bucks for this guy. You don't get a book like this. You want to get into something that may be good for you? Well, that's almost the same thing, collectibles, antiques. Get a book like this, antiques. You know where I picked this up, folks? Thrift store. Picked this up at the thrift store. I left the label on this one. I'm not ashamed to admit it and share it with you. Look, I paid $2.99 for it. Okay. You know what this book for one brand new? This is British money, of course. $22.99, UK. Anyway, I say, okay, this is a professional. It says Price Guide Antiques Professional Handbook. Okay. Am I a professional antique guy, appraiser? No, I'm not. Not by far. Why did I get this book? The price. And I thought it may be helpful. Sometimes you do come across ceramic figurines. Like I said, I'm not crazy about them, but I'm just saying you might come across certain things. The stores I go to deal with, porcelain things. They do deal with furniture. I don't buy any of that stuff because first off, I don't have a big car to buy furniture, but like they have tables and stuff like that. I've seen tables, not these things. I'm just saying, but the thrift store I go to sells furniture too. Okay. You can get a lot of ideas from this here. I'm going to share an example with you. I'm looking at this here for a second. Anyway, I picked up something. See this one right over here? This one here on my middle, right here. Oh, this one right here. Oh boy, yeah, right there. This one. I picked something like that up at a thrift store. Whoopsie. I picked something like that up at a thrift store. Only thing is, it had a watch. It has a watch in it. Like, it's supposed to have a watch. It's an empty box. I picked that up for a good price, and it sold for a good price. An empty box, but it looked something like that. So, I'm not saying this book helped me out, but you can get good ideas from it. And my take is, I said it once before and I'll say it again. You can listen to all the resellers you want. They could tell you anything they want to tell you, and they could state whatever they want to state to you. My thing is, if you're going to stay in this business, learn it the best way you can. Pick up books like this if you could. Okay. Read them, study them. And you may be in a Goodwill store one day. You might see something in a book like this. Say, hey, maybe you got a van, or you got a place to store for stuff. You might say, you know what, I'm going to take a chance. I looked this up, this chair, that thrift store, someone's store, at the Goodwill or whatever. And you might bring it home and sell it, and somebody may buy it. But this is what I'm talking about, folks. I'm not going to sit there telling you all the other stuff. You already know all that. If you follow other resellers, you're going to know all that. You're going to hear them talking about. I go to thrift stores. It's like a lullaby. It puts me to sleep. No, seriously. And and I'm not saying it's to be funny. There was one time, it was late at night. I was listening to our resellers talking about this thrifting and sourcing and stuff. I literally fell asleep. Literally, it put me to sleep. I know my video may putting you guys to sleep, but I'm just trying to give you an insight. Don't get too caught up into that reseller mindset. Saying, oh well, I listen to this guy here, this reseller, and he talks about where he's getting his stuff, and he's very positive, and I'm a positive person too to some point. But at the same time, I'm not going to sugarcoat it either. I'm not going to sit here and telling you stories and saying, oh, well, if you do this and do that, you're going to make $5,000, $10,000 a month. Okay? There's only so much a person's going to tell you, folks. You're only going to learn so much from a person. I mean, with reselling. I mean, how much more can you know? You need to know. What are these guys doing that's so special? And it's the same thing. All the resellers that you watch, including me, tell you the same thing. Where the source, where they get their stuff from. Unless you're getting it from Mars, or it's coming intergalactic from another space. I don't know. What are you talking about? It's the same thing. Try something different. You want to listen to resellers? Go ahead, listen to them. You want, to me, I don't, like I said, I'm not knocking them. But when I hear the same stories over and over again, I don't need to be, I don't need to hear the information. I already know. You already told me. How many times I'm going to watch it? How many times I'm going to listen to the same thing? Get yourself something like this, guys. But like I said again, I try to do it real. I try to keep it real. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything, guys. I tell it like it is. And when I look back here and I see, when people sit there talk about consignment selling, now there's an antique guy I deal with. He does consignment selling too. I never brought anything to him, but he does consignment selling. Flea markets, we know about that. The analytical tools, I'm sure you guys know about that there. You look it up on eBay. You just do a Google search. SEO, search optimization information, you could get that. Comparing Amazon selling and eBay selling. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. What else? Thrift stores, clothing, you know that. I mean, the list is so sparse that I don't even really need to do this here, but I figured let me just throw it out there. But anyway, that's the story. You guys, you take it from there. You take it for what it's worth. I hope this information kind of give you a little insight as to how I feel about it as a reseller. And like I said again, I wish you all the best. To those who do have full-time jobs, don't quit your day job, because it is a competitive field, and when the money trickles in, it's a scary situation, guys. It really is. It's a scary situation. Especially if you're using this and you're depending on this solely as your income. Have money backing you up. Have that money backing up for a rainy day. And I know a lot of these people tell you, oh, you got to source. You got to go sourcing every day you go sourcing. I can't source every day. I'll be depleting. If I sourced every day, I'd be depleting with my reserves, my resources, my reserve funding. I'd be depleting that. And then you're really sweating bullets. You don't want to be one of these type of guys that you use all your reserve money, and then you got to start tapping into your 401k or your pension plan or whatever it is to put food on the table. Be careful, okay? There's a lot of competition out there, guys, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. I'm seeing it myself. I'm thinking, oh, I got nice items here, good items. Everybody's got the same items. Just be careful, guys. That's all I'm saying. I wish you all the best in your endeavors. Stay focused on one thing. Don't sit there and go in all different directions like a spinning top, because you're going to end up having a problem. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. Have a great day. And for those who are seeking in the reselling business, I wish you all the best. Listen to other resellers out there, what they have to say. And, take it from there. Use your better judgment, you know what I'm saying? My father, God rest his soul, used to always say to me when we were younger, I listen to what people have to say. No worries, he's not being rude, but he always used to tell me, make your own decision. Then you decide for yourself what's right. And that's the same thing. I'm going to leave it with you guys. I'm giving it out. I'm throwing my opinions out there, my information out there. You guys, you decide for yourself. If you got any comments you want to leave, that's fine. Please don't leave any negative or nasty comments, because I will delete them. I don't come on here, like I said in my other videos. I don't make these videos to have people make derogative statements or talk, put me down or call me names, whatever. That's not what I'm coming on YouTube for. if people, have those intentions, I'm not gonna, put them out there for everybody to see. If you want to make, comments telling me, oh, okay, you make sense with certain things you don't like, you do like, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. But I just want to leave that with you guys. If you like what I do and you want to subscribe to my channel, I'd love to have you as subscribers. If you got anything out of it, you want to give it a thumbs up, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Again, I'm just sharing the information out there. I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to tell you guys, that it's all, fame and glory, that you get into this business here, you're going to make tons of cash. My thing is, with this type of business, proceed with caution. Okay? Just take your time, do your own research. I told you what I would do. Do I refer to those books? Yes, I do. Do I buy any big antiques, like big furniture and stuff? No, I don't. I don't have the facility for it. I have a small car, so I got to buy things that can fit in my trunk of my car. If you got a van or a pickup truck or whatever, and you could go to a store like that, an antique store, and pick something up like that. I mean, thrift stores, they do sell furniture. I've seen it in the thrift stores I go to, and people buying them. They're buying them. I don't think they're buying to reselling, but they're buying them because they're good. They're like, the furniture's like next to new, good stuff. From what I see, it's not damaged, broken, or chipped or anything. It's like next to new stuff, and it looks good. And people that come there buy the furniture have pickup trucks and they have vans. I see it. When I go there, the times I go there, I see it. But those books are a good source. It doesn't have to necessarily be them. You go to a bookstore, you pick up a copy of it or whatever, or you could do your own research too. You don't have to buy books if you don't want to. I like hardcover. I don't always like looking on the internet. I like to give my eyes a break from the computer. You spend 6, 7, 8 hours a day on this damn thing. It's like after a while your vision goes all out of whack. I noticed since I've been on this computer from 7 o'clock on in the morning until I take breaks in between until like 11 or 12 at midnight, my eyes have been getting bad. That's why I got to wear reading glasses. Last year or the year before, it wasn't this bad. I could read stuff on the internet, on the computer without having to worry about wearing reading glasses. But because, I'm also getting older, you tend to, your eyes get eye strain. There's times you go to, I'm on here so much, my eye will be bothering me, get like a pain in my eye. It's like, oh, it's bloodshot. It's like I'm on a computer for 7, 8 hours, non-stop, except when I take my breaks for eating, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then I'm back here again, and I'm on it for hours on end. So, just take it slow. I'm not saying for you guys not to get involved with reselling, but if you do follow certain resellers, you tell me. It's usually the same exact things. They tell you where they're sourcing, tell you how much they got the item for. It's a good buy, it's a sell. If you see it, pick it up. Bolos, be on the lookout for it. I heard it all. Retail arbitrage, I heard it all. Have I applied any of those principles to my business? Not really. Like I said, I do a lot of sourcing at the thrift store. People may say, well, maybe you might want to change. Maybe you want to go in a different direction like that. Maybe you might want to do retail arbitrage. I don't know that yet. I don't know about that yet. Because, again, everybody and their aunts and uncles are doing the same thing. And like I said, these sellers that are going around, broadcasting all this information, which is great. It helps all the new resellers out, and that's great. But then I have to laugh when I hear a week later, and they're sitting there saying, oh man, sales ain't doing good. I only sold 2 items this week. I only sold 1 item. Are you surprised? I like to tell her, are you surprised? Are you surprised? I'm not. I'm not surprised. But, and you know something? It's going to get like this as time goes on. You're going to get more and more people getting into this business because they're hearing all this news, all this information. And what happens is the competition gets from medium to high to extreme. And it'll get to a point one day where, I'm not saying I want to see this happen, but it may get to a point one day where it gets so high, in competition, where you may get people just dropping out of it, or just saying, not going, going back to a 9-to-5 job and just saying, I'm done. I can't make any money. There's no money to be made out there. The market is so saturated, and if people think they're going to be like the next Amazon or eBay or whatever, that's a pipe dream. I'm not saying it's impossible to say, well, you're a pessimist. No, I'm an optimist. But at the same time, I think people have this grand illusion, I could be the next Amazon. I'll start off like Jeff. How can he? He's already got the market anyway. I mean, yeah, you want to start selling books online, go for it. Go to Amazon. They say if you want to sell books, Amazon's a good place to start. You can sell books on Amazon. The fees will choke you, but you could sell on Amazon. I tried selling books too, and it doesn't work. I have a friend that's he strictly sells on Amazon. He's got 4,000 listings. When I see him at the thrift store, he's crying the blues. Oh, I can't make money. There's so much competition. More and more people are buying and selling the same books. I got 4,000 books listed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, I feel bad for you. I feel bad for myself too. I feel bad too. What am I going to do? I don't cry to the whole world when things like that. Like when I see these resellers in the stores, the thrift stores, I don't sit there and tell them my whole life story about what's going on. They'll ask, how's it going? How's business going? It's coasting. You making any sales? On and off. And I will leave with this. I'll leave you with this last thing in mind. For those who do quit their jobs or who are doing this full time, if you can't at least, and this is a very low pay scale, if you can't at least make $100 in sales a day, not a week, not a month, a day, you're going to be hurting at the end of the month. People may say, well, I'm a moderate spender. I have moderate bills. I don't really have a lot of bills. Yeah, well, if you're a person that used to making $700, $800 a week, $900 a week, whatever it is, okay, and now you're not making even a $25 bill, that's pretty scary, folks. Seriously. If you're a person that was making X amount of money a day, and you sold on, let's say you sold on eBay and you only made $30 for the day, or $25 for that. And I hear this from other resellers. I didn't do much today. Only made $30 today. Only made $20. Only sold 2 items. That's it. So if you're a person that used to make $200 a day, $300 a day, whatever, and you're going from that to $20 or $30 a day, if that, that's sad. And I can tell you, I'll be upfront and honest with you. I do not make sales every day, and I definitely do not bring in $100 a day. So I'll share that with you guys. Okay, so it's pretty scary. People may say, well, you could offset at the end of the week. Maybe you might get 500 sales, $500 worth of sales at the end of the week. Don't always work that way, folks. It don't always work that way. And that's why, like I say, when I hear these people talking, no disrespect to them, when I hear these people talking, I make $2,000 a month, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. The one I heard at one time was like, the one mind, a guy was like $100,000 to $100,000 a month. Oh, please. Another guy will sit there saying, there's a person that does 1,000 listings a day. 1,000 listings a day. 1,000. I do 10. If I do 10 listings a day, it takes me hours on top of hours to do them. I said, well, it depends what you're doing. Well, like, first off, I'm talking about sourcing. Going to the store to source. Come home, catalog the prices in there. Clean the items up. Take photos. Multiple photos, because you want to make sure you take nice pictures. Then if I do sneak peek videos, that takes time. People say, well, cut out the sneak peek video. It doesn't matter. You still got to write the description. You still got to do research. And the ballpark figure to work with those margins, to give a price points, is kind of crazy. I try to, not too high and not too low, I try to stay right in the middle. And even like that, doing it that way, but using that strategy, I think we all think like that and try to undermine the other person, the seller. It still doesn't always work. It doesn't work. The formula doesn't work all the time. You guys will understand when you get involved with it, when you're doing this more. If you do get into it on a full-time basis, you'll know what I'm talking about. You may come back later on and say, hey Rich, I seen your video 6 months ago, last year, whatever, and I see what you're talking about. You will. You may not. You may just criticize me and say, hey, you know what the heck you're talking about. Whatever. But I'm telling you, if you can't at least on a low side, and that's low, make at least $100 a day, which comes to $2,000 a month, and then you got to minus your sourcing, pricing, your fees. If you got taxes you got to take out, it doesn't got to come out to $2,000. Okay, because you got to figure what you pay for that information, for that sourcing, that merchandise you got. What can I say? The only reason why I'm bringing this video out into the focus is because when I hear these things, I know the people that do it with good intentions. They want to be very positive thinkers, and they want people to go out there and see what it's all about. Hey, this is what you could do. This, that. I'm not knocking them. I am not knocking them. I'm just trying to throw it out there, folks. That's all I'm doing. Just trying to throw it out there. You guys think for yourself, though. You try it. Don't quit your day job. Seriously. I get a kick out when I hear it on eBay radio. Oh, I'm quitting my day job. One of my Facebook groups, another person said, I'm giving my 2 weeks notice. I'm going to do eBay full time. I like to know what these people, I'd like to know their strategy. I mean, and here's the other thing that I just want to leave you guys with. I know I keep saying that there, but here's the thing. And you keep this a thought in your mind. Keep this for a fact, whatever. The people that are doing this full time, do they have another source of income coming in? Are they collecting a pension? Are they on disability? Does their husband or wife work? Are they a stay-at-home mom? Are they a stay-at-home dad? And your wife works, she's got a good job, she's a nurse, a teacher, whatever. How are they doing it? When I say I do this full time, there's got to be another source of income coming in. Right? Think about it. All these people sit there saying I'm doing this full time. And then you find out later on, oh, my husband works, or my wife works. I lost my job, so I decided we did a role reversal. She'll go to work and I'll stay home and I'll do the eBay business. You don't hear that. You don't hear too much people saying that. I know of a couple of couples that quote unquote do this full time. A couple of couples, husband and wife team, that do it full time. And the ones I follow, that's just a couple people. There may be more out there, I don't know. But they're the ones that do it full time. But when you hear about other people doing this, I do this full time, I do this full time, I do this full time. Men and women. Does your husband work? And you find out later on, oh, my husband works. Does your wife work? Oh, my wife works. Well, you can do it full time if you got minimal bills, and you're not not have a heavy debt load over your head. Sure, you could do it. If your house is paid off, your car's paid off, you got little bills, yeah, you could do that. You could sit there and say, hey, my wife works, I stay home full time. We did a role reversal, and I'm able to do this here full time because she makes a nice money to keep the house going. That's great. That's beautiful. Wish you all the best. Do it for yourself. How many people actually do this by themselves? Okay? Take care of have a house or a car and make payments with it. Then you come back and you could broadcast it to the world if you would like. Because I'll be honest with you, I know there are people out there, resellers, that say I do this full time, but again, my personal opinion, this is me now speaking as a person, we all have our own opinions. I don't see how one person doing this here full time generates enough money to meet your bills at the end of the month. I'm only going by experience, folks. I have minimal backup money to keep me going for a while. But if that starts getting depleted, you probably won't be seeing me doing YouTubes too much. I can tell you that, because I'll be too busy going back to the 9-to-5 job. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. You know, keep an open mind. Listen to what these people do. You know, and it doesn't hurt to question. I'm not saying question, but you know, like on eBay Radio, the lady will say sometimes she's talking to a guest that comes on. Do you do this full time? Oh no, my husband works. I do this part time. Yeah, I can do it full time. My husband works. He's got a job, you know, or my wife works, whatever, and vice versa. You hear stories like that. I'm not saying if you go to a reseller, you go to a reseller site and you say, oh, by the way, do you do this full time? Is this your sole income? You know, see what they tell you. I'm not saying ask them, but if you were curious like that, and you actually see what they say. I don't know. And the people that say they're doing it, I would like to know their secret. Because, you know, I'm not saying I got the best merchandise out there. I got decent merchandise, but if it ain't going, it ain't selling, you ain't making no money, folks. And I'm not saying this to be like the Grim Reaper or be, to turn you off from reselling, but I'm being upfront and honest. I know you guys don't know me from Adam, but I'm just trying to say, I can't write home. There's nothing to write home about. But if you guys could do it, and you got a secret formula to do this here, and you know how to skate around and get right to the focal point where the buyer, you write a description that's gonna get that buyer's attention. The buyer's gonna sit there and say, I'm buying from that person. I'm buying from him. I'm buying from her. That's it. I'm sold. If you could do that, you're great. That's kudos. I've been trying everything. I'm twisting everything around. Now, I'm not saying I'm not like I'm talking about trying to contradict myself. You know, like I'm talking about people saying to get all involved with different things. I'm talking about selling strategies. I'm doing best offers. I'm putting embedded videos in there. I'm putting little captures in there, like, little messages to the buyers to basically not begging them to buy, but telling them on the best offers, please don't hesitate to please make an offer. So I'm doing it in my descriptions, but I'm staying focused on selling. I'm not going here and there and everywhere. I'm not going to get involved with flea markets or thrift stores or consignment stores. I'm staying focused right now on this. Do I think about selling on eBay and other platforms? Yeah, I do. I think about, I have an eBay account. I'm in an Amazon account. I may start trying to sell on that. I'm with Bonanza. There's nothing to write home about. They're trying to compete with eBay. That's never going to happen. I'd like to see them be as big as eBay. It'd be nice to have competition. Maybe they could offer better services. I don't know. But eventually, if that was to happen, where Bonanza did get as big as eBay, you'll see the corporate structure will change. Their listing prices will go up, and they start moderating, basically just like an eBay store or eBay business. They'll start picking up on the same type of tactics. The same rules and regulations will apply. Just like what applies on eBay, it'll apply on that particular website. I have a website, and I'll be honest with you. If I knew the way to generate, I guess with search engine optimization, I would love to. This is what I would like to do. To sell all my stuff on my own personal website. Not pay for listing fees. And embed a video shopping cart in there. And you always have to pay for the shopping fee. You have to pay for that fee. But I'm talking, at least it would save me money on listing fees with eBay. I get pretty decent sized bills from eBay every month. So that would save me a lot of money if I could do my own stuff. That's right, and I'm trying to point in that direction. Really, to be honest with you, I would love to sell on my own website and just get off of eBay altogether. It's getting expensive, and like I said again, there's the amount of money that's coming in is probably just going to pay whatever little things I got coming in. Just going to probably pay that eBay bill. So let's say you got a $200 eBay bill. You'd have to probably sell so many items to make that money just to pay that. I'm talking if you sell special, small items. Or let's say I'm selling 2 printers and they were selling for $100 each. I'd have to sell 2 $100 printers, not even my profit, just to pay my eBay bill. And then I guess after that, then whatever is left is left, It's not that easy, folks. And that's why I get a kick out when I hear these resellers just keep talking about that stuff over and over again. They make it sound like it's old. And that's the only reason I'm doing this video. It's not like people think. And if I'm sorry to a lot of for a lot of resellers out there that may pick up on this and whatever, but I don't sugarcoat it. I'll tell it like it is. I hate to see people get misled into thinking that you're going to go into eBay and you're going to make tons of money. There may be people out there making tons of money. I'm sure it's not one of them. And people may say, well, you probably have a lot of variables in yours. Maybe your pricing is too expensive on your listing. Maybe you're listing things for too expensive. Maybe your pitches are no good. Then they give you all excuses. Your pitches are no good. Maybe your listing, maybe it's too expensive. Maybe shipping was causing a problem. How many variables could you have mixed in where the person either buys or you don't buy? You walk into a department store. You walk into Macy's, Walmart. You pick an item up. You don't look at it and say, do I want to buy this or I don't want to buy it? You're going to pick it up and you're going to buy it. That's it. That's the way I look at it. Same thing with eBay. You either want it or you don't want it, people will send you messages and questions, say, hey, how does this work or whatever? Is it missing this, that, or whatever it may be? They'll message you that way. But, eBay's a selling platform. It's like anything else. You go, if I see something on eBay, I like it, I basically buy toner cartridge and ink cartridge. That's basically what I buy in there when I need it for my printers. I'm not a buyer. I'm a seller. And if I like it, I like what the seller's got to offer. I look at their return policies or whatever. I look at how they have it set up and stuff. And if I like it, I buy it. I don't sit there questioning it. I don't sit there vacillating in the decision, saying, "Geez, do I want to buy it or I don't want to buy it?" I buy it, and I make the purchase right there. I don't sit there and I'll pay you about a couple days from now. I don't do things like that. And that's another thing that holds things up. Because the longer people take to pay you, those bills are coming in at the end of the month. And then if they back at the last minute, and let's say you're depending on that money, that's scary stuff, folks. That is scary stuff. But I love eBay Radio. It's always so bright and cheery, and they're so happy, and everybody's like, oh, I'm on eBay making money. And they come on, these few guests they get coming on there. You wonder if they're selectively picked. And they're coming on there. Oh, today we're going to have this guest here. And they might be a top-rated seller, and that's had a good sales month. And they're talking about all this hype, how they're making all this money. And, people like me listen, oh, that's great. Yeah, hey, that person's making that much money. That's great. All positive. And people say, but that's what you want. You want to be around positive. Of course. Of course you want to be positive. Who wants to sit there and say, oh, this place sucks, or this, I don't want to do eBay, this and all that. Of course you want to hear positive people. But the way they make it sound, it's like, even with that, I listen, I laugh, because I say to myself, here's people on eBay, they come on, they're talking about how great the sales are. And all us other poor souls, we're over here trying to, make a go out of it. We can't seem to get to point A to point B. It makes me laugh. It really does. It makes me laugh. I have to laugh. Listen to eBay Radio one day. If you're on the East Coast, they go on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays they go on, California time. That's their time. Is 11 o'clock Pacific time. But on the East Coast here, it's 2 o'clock, 2 p.m., and it goes from, on Tuesdays, they get the Power Seller Hour. Ooh, the Power Seller Hour. That goes on from 2 to 5 p.m. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. They go on again on Thursdays, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. They get ready because they don't have the Power Seller Hour. Do you get some good pointers from them? Sure, you do. It's all positive stuff. Like I said, they bring in people that probably noted to do good. You never hear him say, well, I don't remember hearing him say my sales have been slow, sluggish. I never hear things like that. But then again, I guess people coming in on eBay and they're giving a user ID, I guess they don't want people to know, other people are potential buyers. Yeah, I heard that buyer or that seller was on. They came on, they said their sales were terrible, you know. I mean, so you're going to hear positive things. But check it out, guys. I don't want to keep ranting about this here or talking about it. You guys tell what you think. If you want to leave a comment, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. I just thought I'd share this with you. And check out eBay Radio if you get a chance. Just go to voicemarketing.com. You type in listen live. You can also listen to the archives. Listen to some of those archives. Some of them are pretty funny. I think so. Do I listen to it religiously? Yes, I do. I like to listen to the cheeriness of it, the happiness that makes me feel very happy and overwhelmed. You know, oh, I'm selling on eBay, great. A lot of people may say, if you don't like it, get off it. Can't do that. Not right now, anyway. I still want to give it a go. I am not a person that throws the towel in just yet. I just got to figure out. But that's the thing. What's to figure out? How many ways can you? It's like cooking an egg. You can only cook an egg so many ways, right? It's the same thing with business. How much more can I conjure up in my mind to make a sale? Think about it. What can you do to make a sale? How much more can I go through? I embed videos in there. I use best offers. What other ways? My descriptions. I try to make my descriptions to sell. You know, selling whatever. I try to use a good selling point. But then again, it's very basic. Then they tell you on eBay Radio, don't make it too wordy because the buyers ain't gonna read it. And then you don't make it wordy, right? And buyer gets an eye from you because she didn't want to make it wordy, and they put item not as described. Because, you know, you don't want to be too descriptive. So damn if you do, damn if you don't. If there's something wrong with an item, I am going to state it in there, and I'm going to be descriptive. Because what happens is, if you're not descriptive, and you don't go down to the final detail, it's going to come back to bite you. And how it comes back to bite you when the buyer gets to the item and says it's not as described. Okay, so my take on that, folks. Don't listen to that eBay Radio host. Be descriptive. Because I'm telling you, if you're not, it's going to come back to bite you. And hope that the buyer is in a good frame of mind where they don't right away drop you a negative. And you got to have that negative that's going to be stuck with you for a whole year until it comes off. Think about that, guys. Seriously. When I hear that there, buyers don't read the description. They don't. Matter of fact, I did a video on that. You can probably search it. I don't know. I got 410 videos now. I did this one. Check that one out about eBay buyers don't read it. And I'm not the only one who complained about it. There were other guys on YouTube complaining about it, other sellers. Even on my Facebook page, they were complaining about it. Buyers do not read descriptions. I had that happen so many times. So, I had a buyer one time ordered, I think, a guitar from me. One of those Rock Band guitars. And the buyer said, yeah, I received a guitar, but I didn't receive the dongle. I guess that's a little receiver that makes it connect. I said, if you read the article, if you read the description, I did it in bold lettering. I said, please note, there is no dongle included with this here. Oh, I didn't read that part. You're going to send it back to me. You're going to say not as described. You got to read. I read everything in its entirety. If I'm buying something for somebody, I mean, toner cartridge. I do read feedbacks on other sellers. If I see negatives, I do read them. I'm curious to know why they get negatives. I read it in the whole entirety. Cartridges, toner cartridges, I can read like that. But if I do see the seller's got some negatives, I want to find out what that's all about. But for the most part, when it comes to electronics, if I was to buy electronics, I did buy this off of eBay. I'm sorry, I bought this cell phone, but I read it in its entirety. I read the description, I read about the condition, the return policy. I did for that one there, but I upgraded from my Sony to the iPhone. Because my daughters have the iPhone too, and I figured we all have the iPhone and stuff, and it's, they all integrate with one another. But yes, I did buy that there off eBay. I'm sorry, I apologize. But I read everything on it though. I read the full description right from top to bottom, right down to the return policy. There was no surprises. If there was something that the buyer left out, that the seller left out, am I going to leave them negative feedback? No. Am I going to block them, like, in other words, and never do business with that person? No, that's not going to happen. I don't want to block people. I don't want to block anybody. You know, I want everybody to come and buy from me. I try to offer a good service. And lastly, I keep saying lastly, guys, right? This is going to be lastly because it's getting time for lunch. I would recommend that anybody that buys from me, prior to buying anything from me, if you could take like 10-15 seconds of your time, just read some of the feedbacks that people have left for me. Not all of them, just a couple of them, maybe 10-15 feedback. Just scroll down really quick and just see what other buyers have to say about me. That's all. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. You have a great day. Enjoy the weather. It's let's see. No, it's 2:40, right? It's almost 3 o'clock. Man, I can't believe the way time goes by. Enjoy your day, guys. Good luck in your selling. And for those who are looking or venturing into eBay reselling, I wish you all the best. Kudos to you. Do your research. Don't jump in too quick. Don't quit your day job. And, you know, it's okay to listen to the resellers and stuff like that, but use your own judgment. You know, that's all I can say. That's the advice I give you. And pick up books like that. You know, learn from them, and maybe you might want to do some antiquing rather than going to thrift stores. I will say this one thing: there is an antique store around by me, and they have a lot of nice items there. They're not the cheapest, but if you're getting stuff like that there, where you might have a good profit margin, depending on what the antique is and how much it goes for, you might be able to do, you know, make some money like that. But check out those books. Talk to you again, guys. Bye bye.